Hey folks, how's it going? In this video I'd like to share something with you that I've been practicing a lot recently as I have been getting some questions asking about what I work on. This comes from the Charlie Wilcoxon Modern Rudimental Swing Solos for the Advanced Drummer. The solo that I've been working on a lot is called Rolling in Rhythm. It's one of the first solos in the book. It's dedicated to the late great Joe Morello of Take 5 fame and fortune. This solo is a lot of fun because it features double stroke roll, rudiments, and patterns and whatnot. And so I've been not only practicing it both with traditional and matched grip to make sure that my doubles are really under control and sounding good with both grips, but then I've been applying it to the drum kit, which is something that I find really helpful when I'm going through a practicing rut or something like that. It's proven to be a good vehicle and very useful for coming up with new soloing ideas or finding little things to work on if I'm not coming up with anything to work on my own or don't have any music to work on for a gig or something like that. I won't bore you with the first step, which is obviously getting the solo under your hands on just one surface, whether it's on a pad or on a snare drum. It's good to do it with both because there's different benefits from each surface. But once you kind of get that going, once you get it both matched and traditional grip, if you prefer, then what I like to do is apply it to a time feel. In this case, I'll start with more of a jazz 4/4 swing time, however you want to refer to it as, and I'll keep the feet going while I play the solo. By applying it to a time feel, the solo sounds a little more authentic. It has a little more feel to it than a strict rudimental sounding snare drum solo. For those that will inquire, my metronome is set at 165 BPM. That's quarter note at 165 BPM. So you can hear how the solo has a little more feel to it when I've got it applied to a time feel, especially with that triplet bass. It's not strictly 16th notes. My rolls kind of fall in between. Another way that I'll do this is with more of a funk 16th note, straight 8th note sort of feel. And when I play the solo this time, what I'm going to do is add the bass drum on all of the accents instead of just feathering it on all 4 beats as I did previously. Keep the metronome at the same tempo for those that will inquire. So there, the solo takes on a whole different life by applying it to a different time concept. There's a lot of other time feels and concepts that you can apply it to as well. Those are just two examples, two that I like to go between. From there, I'm still playing the solo on one surface level. So what I might do is still, after playing time for a little bit, I'll start to put them on the toms, which gives it some more melodic content, right? All the accents are now either a low or a high pitched tom. So I'll just play the last section because it's a lot of fun. I'll play it with the feet kind of over the swing time, just so you can kind of hear the melodic parts that come out of the solo when I put the accents on the toms. I'm going to keep the metronome at the same BPM for those that will inquire. So as you can hear and see, adding the toms into the mix allows that melodic voice to come out. And it also, for me, helps working on accuracy, especially when you speed it up or slowing it down too. If you're finding that you're having a problem with getting those accents right in the center of the drum to get the maximum amount of tone that you want to get out of the tom, slowing it down and really making sure that all those accents strike right in the center of the tom, and then speeding it up and making sure that that accuracy is still in place as you get faster can be really helpful, especially with a solo like this where the accents are placed between both hands and you've kind of got those double stroke rolls to allow you to kind of get your hands thrown to each tom. From there, now that I've had a bunch of repetitions of the solo over and over and over and over again, I've got it under my hands, feeling good, both traditional and matched grip. It feels comfortable on the kit. I've worked out my independence a little bit. Now what I like to do is trade 4s or 8s between the time feel that I'm playing and some parts of the solo. And I don't necessarily, when I'm doing this part, I'm not necessarily thinking about the solo. I'm going to apply those double stroke accent patterns and those double stroke rudiments to what I'm playing around the kit. It's definitely good to start this slow to work those ideas in. But I find that the more repetitions you have of the solo, I've almost got it committed to memory now, the more it'll just kind of come out as it's implemented. I don't right away go into this portion of my practice. I rep the solo a bunch between playing time, and eventually those ideas that are in the solo will kind of come out. So kind of show some of that. I'll go back to playing the more 16th note, straight 8th note funky thing, and I'll start to trade 8s. So a lot of fun things to work out just in those few little times that I traded eights. One of the things that I have started to work on with the solo now is adding hi-hat openings with the accents with the bass drum, which is a lot of fun. You could also go between the crashes and the ride or whatever. That would be a fun way to do it with the jazz context playing as well. But with the hi-hat jabs, to go back to that for a second, not only are you working out those accents with the bass drum in the hands, but you're also working that left foot in. So if I play, again, that last section, because it features sort of the most accents out of everything, because why not play more accents? It kind of goes... But applying that to the whole solo and just practicing it that way with the metronome can prove very helpful in working on some hi-hat jabs and incorporating those into what you're doing. If I take it back over to the swing context and put it on the cymbals, I'll start at the top now. If I just start with time, I'll put the metronome back on. That's another way that you can apply those accents on a different voice of the kit. One thing that I also found kind of cool and fun to work on, and I'm still kind of working on it as well, is putting the bass drum right after each accent. So it's kind of filling in those gaps where the accents fall. And so that kind of sounds like this. I'll play it a little bit slower so you can hear it starting from the top. So when you apply that to the whole solo, now there's a whole other element of adding that bass drum in on a non-dominant beat, right, to have that fill in there. There was a little pattern that I came across when I started working on this sort of idea, which was just kind of going between the 5-stroke roll. So you speed that up. So you find little things like, that's still a little tricky for me, and so I just slow it down. Because then I have to find how to exit that. If I'm going to play that little part, it's difficult to get my left foot in there. But the point of that, obviously, as you're seeing, as I'm kind of struggling with it for a little bit there, is it's something now that I can isolate and practice. And then that, becomes a vehicle for other things. And as I work on it, I implement it, and it becomes part of what I play, and I'm not thinking about it because I've gotten those repetitions in over and over and over again. And it's not to say that this is the only way to practice and work on soloing ideas, but it's a way and a fun way and a concept that I like to use when maybe I'm not transcribing somebody or I don't feel inspired to play along to a record. I'll just come along and work on some stuff out of a book or whatever and come up with my own ideas, and it just kind of blossoms from there. So I hope that you found some of this useful, that you can take some ideas and some things that I talked about and maybe work them out. I encourage you to get this book, the for the Advanced Drummer, Modern Rudimental Swing Solos by Charlie Wilcoxon. It's a great book. There's lots of other great solos in here. I might do some other videos talking about applying some other solos in this to the drum kit. Let me know what else you'd like to hear me talk about. I'd love to have a conversation. I'd love to do some more videos like this if you enjoyed this one and got something out of it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.